Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support. Today I read an interesting article on yahoo.com, put out by MoneyWise and written by Jing Pan, titled, Robert Kiyosaki warns the biggest crash in history is starting, says millions to lose everything. How to prepare now. I'll include a link to this article below. I encourage you to check it out. I'm going to share with you a quote from the article. As markets push into their final stretch of 2025, Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki has issued a chilling new warning. Biggest crash in history starting. Now, the author goes on to say, this is the very downturn he's been predicting for more than a decade, and he believes the fallout will be severe. Well, my friends, the stock market doesn't seem to agree with Robert Kiyosaki because the markets have been hitting all-time highs. Gold and silver have been hitting all-time highs. The real estate market is chugging along. Yes, sales have slowed in some areas, but real estate is very local. I, for one, don't think our government will allow a stock market crash. Now, this is just me. It's not financial advice, but I believe the stock market has become too big to fail. The government may allow a correction to occur, but a full-blown crash, I highly doubt it. They will turn the money printers back on and do everything possible to avert any type of crash. History shows that is how they typically handle something that could potentially turn into a crash. They did it in 2008. They also did it in 2020 during the pandemic. What makes you think they won't do it again? The billionaires would love it. Why? Because trillions of dollars would be pumped into the market and their assets would increase in value. They would become wealthier on paper. Why would the wealthy elite oppose the government continuing with money printing in the event there were a potential crisis? Getting back to the article. In 2013, by the way, this is me quoting Robert Kiyosaki. In 2013, I published Rich Dad's Prophecy, predicting the biggest crash in history. Unfortunately, that crash has arrived. It's not just the US, Europe, and Asia. AI will wipe out jobs, and when jobs crash, office and residential real estate crashes. Now, the author of this article says, at first glance, his warning may seem at odds with the US stock market, where the S&P 500 and NASDAQ remain near record highs. But concerns about AI-driven job losses are widespread, and layoffs continue to dominate headlines. Now, Robert Kiyosaki believes that this environment could create enormous opportunities for those who prepare. While millions will lose everything, if you are prepared, this crash will make you richer. Well, there are a lot of people who have become extremely wealthy in past crashes. But how do you know how to best prepare for a crash? Robert Kiyosaki believes it's time to buy more gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Well, let's talk for a moment about what happened in 2020 when the markets started to correct. Gold and silver also dropped quite a bit. Bitcoin and Ethereum also dropped quite a bit. Just about everything dropped. Now, after the government intervened and the stock market started to come back up, well, Bitcoin did quite well, and so did Ethereum, and so did gold and silver. But initially, they all dropped. They followed the stock market down. So I'm going to ask this question. Why buy gold, silver, Bitcoin, or Ethereum right now if you think a crash is coming? You're just going to watch those potentially drop in value. Why wouldn't you hold cash? And after those things drop, then you can pick them up at bargain basement prices. So I don't agree with what Robert Kiyosaki is suggesting here. And understand, I'm just some guy on YouTube. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, and silver would hold up just fine if we experienced a stock market crash. But Bitcoin and Ethereum seem to track the stock market. When the stock market drops, like on Liberation Day, well, Bitcoin and Ethereum followed it down. Getting back to the article, Robert Kiyosaki has never been shy about his love for gold and silver, and in moments of crises, he has turned to them with even more conviction. His stance is clear. I'm not buying gold because I like gold. I'm buying gold because I don't trust the Fed. This is something he said in an interview back in 2021. During the pandemic, I watched the price of silver drop quite a bit. And I did purchase a lot of silver back then. And that investment paid off because silver just hit all-time highs this past week. My point is, why buy these assets now if you think a crash is coming like Robert Kiyosaki is suggesting? Understand, Robert Kiyosaki has been predicting a crash for many years now, and it has not come to fruition. It's not to say it won't happen someday, but he's been talking about it for a long time. And people that listened to him several years ago likely missed out on some amazing gains. Getting back to the article, I'm going to quote Robert Kiyosaki. Silver is the best and the safest. Silver is $50 today. I predict silver will hit $70 soon and possibly $200 in 2026. Well, that quote must be from a while ago because silver blew past $50. I think silver was around $57 last time I checked. In terms of gold, he said his target price for gold is $27,000. And he's attributing that forecast to his friend and investment guru, Jim Rickards. Very interesting, my friends. Understand, I like silver and gold. But if I thought a crash were just around the corner, I don't think I'd be buying silver and gold because I watched both of them drop when we had the disruption in the markets during the pandemic. That was the time I bought, not before. Now, it doesn't mean history is going to repeat itself. Next time could be different. Maybe gold and silver will skyrocket. Who knows? It's really hard to say. No one has a crystal ball. I just worry about folks who believe every word that Robert Kiyosaki says. I'm not bashing Robert Kiyosaki. I enjoyed his Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. I think that a lot of people could benefit from reading that book, but sometimes I question the advice that he provides publicly. I think people need to be careful when giving advice because everyone's situation is different. And unless you fully understand someone's situation in great detail, I don't think blanket advice is good. But that's just me. And again, what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. I'm curious what you folks think about all of this. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.